share the screen. Previous session, we completed the ESXi host installation configuration and IP configuration. Today, this session, we are going to talk about how to download the client tools, how to access the client plugin tools, and how to download. We are going to see. So, as we tested the communication of the ESXi host, we are going to open that particular ESXi host through browser. So open the browser. So this is the IP address. As soon as you enter the IP address, we are going to get the screen of the ESXi host options. What are the options are available? What is the IP address of the ESXi host in our lab? 192.168.222.20. As soon as you enter the IP address, this is the screen you are going to get, wherein you can download the Vsphere client for Windows. What are the client tools are available? One is installable client and other one is browser client. The installable client, we can say that VC client, Vsphere client, thin client, whatever there are different names are available, all are referring to same concept. So how to download the client tool? If we have the ISO image of vCenter server, in that same vCenter server ISO image, the client tool available. From this particular page, we can download both the things. Download vSphere client for Windows. At the bottom, you can see download VMware vCenter. That in the sense centralized management component. How to access these two components? As soon as we access this ESXi host, we can go to click on download vSphere client for Windows. So keep. So what it is going to download? It is downloading by the respective client tool from respective VMware website, VMware vendor website. As soon as you click on. If you want to download the page, you can go download the different versions. Click on download VMware vCenter. It is going to connect all this particular VMware website wherein you can see what are the options are available. These are the different VMware vSphere products like VMware Cloud Suite Platinum, VMware eCloud Suite, VMware vSphere. What we are going to download? We are going to download VMware vSphere. VMware vSphere, click on download product. Under VMware vSphere, click on download product. It is going to redirect to see here what are the select version is available. There are different versions are available. Go up at the top of the page. See select versions. If you click on select version, the drop down menu, here see what are the versions are available. We already discussed about all these versions, 7.0, 6.7, 6.5, all these versions. So that in the sense, you can select any version and you can download the respective component. What are the components available? Either we can download vSphere client, vSphere server, or ESXi host. For all these components, you are going to get this select version option. So first we are going to install 6.0. We are going to download 6.0. Later, once this topic is over, we are going to download 7.0 and see how the ESXi host can be installed with 7.0. Whatever the version you are going to download, we need to make sure that hardware is compatible to that version or not. That is a mandatory requirement to cross-verify. Whatever the hardware we are going to use. So how to cross-check the hardware compatibility? We can go to VMware products with VMware product matrix, compatibility matrix, wherein you can identify the server model, you can identify what the processor of the server model. According to that, you can Just go to the next page, open new tab, search Google VMware compatibility matrix. VMware compatibility matrix. Yes. Select one, the first one. This is a page wherein it is a 6 hardware compatibility. In this particular page, what are the options are available? If you are not sure what is the model, whatever the hardware server you are going to use, see, there are product release version. Product release version, first product release version, you can select all. And partner name in the sense, the second tab, partner name, you can select HP vendor. What is a vendor? Is it IBM or is it HP or Dell? Whatever it may be, you can select respective vendor. For example, HP. Under system type, we discussed about is a blade server, rack server, or tower server. How do we know that? We know that we are going to purchase a server by seeing the model. So we can select that model. Is it a blade server? Is it a rack server? Is it a tower server? We can select the respective tower server. For example, I'm going to select rack mount, rack or tower server, rack or tower server. Okay, that's fine. And then if you come down a little more, the only three options we selected. If you know additional details, you can select filter out the many options and come down. See here, only three options selected. We are going to click on update and view results. Click on update and view results. Here, there is no options are listing here. So we need to modify the search to get the list of the information. So go up. I'm going to select rack mount. Select rack mount. Yes. Now click on search. Click on again. This search is also not showing, so we need to select the different model. The HP rack server also is not, rack mount is also not available. So I'm going to select a blade. So that in the sense that HP rack server, there is no versions available. Refresh the page. Now come to product partner name instead of HP, Helvet Packard Enterprise, Helvet Packard Enterprise, select Helvet Packard Enterprise. Yes, click on search now. Now then go to IBM or Dell or Cisco, select Cisco. Yes, then that's fine. Yes. Generally, it is going to list out the products here. Go to hardware, the system type. It is not under system type. Select it is rack, all, Cisco, all. Okay. We need to narrow down the options. What are the options are available? We need to narrow down. Otherwise, it is not going to come into picture. Select all. System type. Select all. System type. Select all. Yeah. Search. Sorry, there is no systems matching your search criteria. Please refine your search and try again. Okay. So generally, this is a compatibility matrix. What are the hardware is available? So, for example, BL320. Select product release version 6.0. Product release version 6.0. You can select multiple versions by pressing Control and then select multiple options. No issues. Okay, click redefine search. See, this is a compatibility list. It is going to show up here. That in the sense that different versions. See here 6.0. What is the blade version? What is the tower version in Cisco hardware? It is going to show here. What is the CPU series? Everything it is going to list out. What are the hardware you are going to use? What are the version you are going to try to download? Before trying to download, according to the hardware, we need to search here the compatibility matrix. Is that version is compatible or not? Then only go back to the download vSphere options. Go to download vSphere options and download respective version. Now 7. Version is not compatible with my hardware. Then downloading 7.0 doesn't make any sense. So we have to select 6.0, drop down 6.0, and then here, see here licensing information. I told you essential plus, minimize that arrow, essential, minimize that arrow. Yes, like that. Otherwise, other one also essential plus. For all versions, minimize like that. Okay, that's one. Desktop we are not going to concern. So see, we talk about in 6.0 what is the editions are available, standard, enterprise, and an enterprise plus. So for ESXi host, this different licenses are available, different editions are available. For vSphere server, it is common, only standard edition. There is no different standard, essential plus. Who is going to use essential plus? It is an organization profit, without profit, whoever runs the organization, for them it is essential and essential plus. Generally in enterprise environment, only 3 editions are available, 3 licenses component for organizations. Those are standard, enterprise plus. If it is a 6.5, 6.7, it is standard, enterprise plus, and platinum. Those options are going to come into picture. Now, what I'm going to download, I'm going to download for this version either ESXi host and vSphere server. Expand Enterprise Plus. I can download any version here. I can download, see, VMware ESXi 6.0 update 3. I can download, and at the same time, I can download VMware vCenter server also. So those 2 components available. But licensing, if you come to the licensing, while assigning the license, the standard or enterprise plus, it is going to applicable as per the license. But downloading component, I can download any from anywhere. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to download VMware ESXi update 3. Just go to downloads. Click on go to downloads. See here, what is this? ISO image, EXI offline bundle, VMware vSphere client. From here to connect that ESXi host, I can download the vSphere client and I can download the ISO image of to install ESXi ISO host image. Offline bundle, what is offline bundle? Offline bundle from command line, how to execute. There is no online availability is there. So it is a command line utility, how to upgrade. So once the ESXi host is already installed, there is no remote management card is available. There is no option to mount the ISO image. So during such scenarios, we are going to download offline bundle and copy that zip file to the respective data store. I'm going to cover that what is data store and all those things. Just I'm going to cover what are the options to download. This is a site from VMware vendor site. We can download all the options. Okay, so come back to this our session, how to connect vSphere client, how to download vSphere client. We already downloaded vSphere client. This say VMware vSphere client 6.0 update 3 we already downloaded. So the same thing we are going to execute that and install on our system. This can be installed in any of your system. While installing whatever the component you are going to install, right click on the component, run as administrator. Make use of habit. Right click on the respective thing, run as an administrator, so that it is going to install with full permissions. Run as administrator. Okay, so what it is going to do, it is going to install all the components. What I'm going to do, we already completed the ESXi host, and we already completed the DCUI configuration, host installation of ESXi host. Now we are going to connect through a client, installable client. We already accessed this ESXi host through web browser. Now we are going to install a client, and then from the client how to connect the particular ESXi host. So execute that. We can install on any system which is compatible. It's a simple straightaway installation. Whatever the options, default options is going to come into picture. You just press next, next, next. That's it. Simple installation, just 5 minutes installation. If you are not able to install VC client, doesn't matter. We can perform all the operations, whatever the operations we can perform on the client. The same functions we can perform on web client as well. Through browser also we can perform. In fact, web browser, web client provides more features than installable client. So it's better to utilize the Vsphere client, the web client, to access the environment. Just proceed simply. What are the default options? Just proceed. Wherever you are going to install this Vsphere client, from that respective system, you should be able to ping. You should be able to establish communication that ESXi host. If you are not able to establish communication ESXi host, then no use of installing this client. So before installing this client on the respective system, from that system, am I able to ping? So open command prompt and test the communication to the respective ESXi host. Ping, what is the IP address of ESXi host 192. So I'm getting the reply. So I'm able to establish communication. Once the UVC client is completed, I'm able to connect that respective ESXi host through this particular client. Meanwhile, we can access it before completing this installation. We see how to connect web client. Simply web client, there is a same page in the home page of the browser. You can select, go to the browser, go to the home page again, 192.168. We'll see what is the difference between web client and then VC client at the same time. Going forward, we are going to work on the components on VC client. Only one client, I'm going to explain all the components. So we need to correlate that components in web client where the options are available. Okay, click on open the Vsphere host client. It is leads to redirects to web browser. This is the web client, HTML5 web client, lightweight web client, we can say. There is see the top icon, it is coming, the web address is coming /UI. So it is a lightweight, without Java component, the web client is going to work. So root and provide the password. Generally web client, wherever you are going to use web client, that web client should be support the flash client, flash player, and then Java component. then only it is going to work. This is what are the page we are going to work without Flash Player, without Java component. It is HTML5. So here, what are the options are going to come, how to check that information. The host plugin is selected, click on manage. There is an option under host, click on manage. See here, the options are going to come into picture, different options, advanced settings, hardware, licensing, packages. These are the tabs, different tabs are available. The same information, what are the information we are able to see here? The same information we are going to see at the VC client. What is the visibility of the screen is differs. Here it is look like something wherein we can see in a different concept, different way in VA client. What are the options available in web client? What are the options are available in VC client? You need to compare both the things together to understand where I'm getting more features. Generally, web client provides more features than installable client. So in an environment, if you are working on VMware environment, it's better to use habitual to use the web client only instead of using VC client. Whatever the compatible, whatever the environment you are going to work, if it is working fine for VC client, you can continue VC client. If it is web client is convenient, you can go with respect to client, web client or VC client as per organization requirement, enterprise environment, what are the options you are going to do. So check that is it completed or not. If it is a fresh installation, that's the reason it is taking time. Otherwise, if all Microsoft .NET component, if it is already there, it won't take this much time. So not a problem, let it complete. Once it is completed, we are going to export the options. Meanwhile, we'll go through this WebEx or this web client, how the options are available. Minimize the screen and see what are the options are available. Manage what are the options are available. What is the hardware? If you go to the hardware tab, advanced setting is going to come into picture at the later words. What is the devices it's connected? Different devices it's connected, the total hardware devices, what are the hardware devices? All the hardware devices it is going to show over here. But what is the hardware we are using this environment for this lab? We are using VMware Workstation. On VMware Workstation, we created a VM. We created a VM. On top of a VM, we installed ESXi Host. So that's the reason what are the components it is going to show here. These are all virtual components which are related to VMware. Generally, the VMware ESXi host, we are not going to install on a virtual. Why it is not compatible? We are going to see that we are not in a position to perform any action. Rather, just we can see the options available. What is the options here available? We can see just it. But we are not in a position to perform. We are not in a position to create a VM. It is going to throw an error. What is the requirement to install an ESXi host? Once the hardware is available, I'm going to discuss what are the hardware checks we need to perform before installing ESXi host. Okay, there are two components I'm going to show you during the hardware server. Once the hardware server is available, maybe in next 2 sessions or 3 sessions, we are going to get one hardware server. So once the hardware server is available, I'm going to show you what are the BIOS settings we need to check What are the BIOS configuration we need to check before installing ESXi Host? That is a mandatory cross-check. First mandatory cross-check is check the compatibility matrix from VMware website, VMware product matrix, product compatibility matrix. Once that is done, on the hardware, what are the basic things we need to cross-check before proceeding with the installation that we are going to check once the hardware is available. Next, here, the licensing. The licenses by default, it supports evaluation for 60 days. Whatever the version we are going to install, without license, we can run for 60 days. So this, see, what are the features? If you come down little bit, come down, the evaluation supports all features, irrespective of whatever the platinum last version. We have a different versions, enterprise, enterprise plus, standard. Enterprise plus supports all features. So what are the features are it is going to support? All this is going to provide the information here. See here, the license features, different features are available. We are not going to use all these features. Little come down in this web client. These are enterprise plus features. These many features we are in any environment. If you go to any environment, enterprise environment, we are not going to use all these features. So choosing the license is advisable to cross-check what is my requirement. According to that, you can go ahead. But feature certain few things. What are the few things is important for environment? We need to cross-check those few requirements is available or not. So according to the features availability, we need to choose the license. This is an evaluation license. This is available for 60 days. In evaluation, we are going to get all features. To enable all features, there are requirements, prerequisite is, what are the prerequisites we are going to see, what are the things we can do in our lab, we can see later. This is the licensing under evaluation. How to check the licensing? Connect to web client, go to manage, click on licensing so that you will get the license information. Go up. How to add to assign a license? If you click on assign license, you are going to get an option to assign a license. Once you assign a license, you are not going to come back to that evaluation. If the license is expired, for example, license is expired. Once license is expired, you cannot come back to evaluation. At the same time, once evaluation is expired, you cannot retrieve the evaluation. Only you need to perform any action, you must enter the licensing. Without entering licensing, you cannot perform any modifications or you cannot perform any action on this particular ESXi host or the VMs. They're just up and running, that's it. If it is shut down, you cannot power on also. Okay, this is a licensing. Next, this is the packages. What are the packages? Click on packages. This package information also it is showing here, but the same information is not available in VA client. If you consider VA client, the option is not going to be available for VA client. So VA client is installation is completed. That's fine. Let's proceed with next tab. What services? What are the services are available? How to see the services? What the services are running on? What the services you need to start? Everything you can perform here. Select this respective service which is in stop state, NTTPD, or anything. Certain services are by default. We cannot stop them. Don't clock. Don't start. Okay, no problem. No problem. No problem. Leave it. Leave it. Okay. So security and users. What are the users are available? Click on security and users. What are the users available? By default, what the user is available, we created a by default inbuilt user, that is a root. That root user is available. Click on authentication, application level review it, click on authentication. Join to domain, different options are available. Okay. certificates. Click on certificates. This is a certificate. What is a certificate for this particular ESXi host? Lockdown mode. What is a lockdown mode? I'm going to explain it later. Okay. Swap and time and date. What is swap? Swap is nothing but the virtual memory. In Windows operating system, what we call it as swap virtual memory, page files is. In this particular Linux, this is a kind of Linux related Linux proprietary kernel the VMware is going to use. So here the virtual memory concept comes in as a swap. Okay, these all features. What are the features we are able to see here? Some features are not available on VA client. We are going to see how the wizard is going to look like, the difference between VA client and this particular web client. So going forward, I am going to talk about only VA client. Under VA client, what are the options are available? I'm going to explain to avoid confusion. So once you open the, for example, any configuration, if you want to do some action on the VMware ESXi environment, if you search the internet, it is going to provide KB articles, VMware KB article. It is always recommended to follow VMware KB article only. Just connect VA client, open VA client and log into VA client. So VA client installation is done. So I'm using Windows client to access this ESXi host. How to connect this ESXi host? Let's see what is the screen. It is going to show that what is the options are available in VA client compared to web client. Again, VA client supports only less features compared to web client. So whatever the new features are going to support, most features are available in web client. Login, IP address, to whom I'm going to connect here, to ESXi host. By using this client, I'm connecting to ESXi host. I can connect by using this client. I can connect either ESXi host or the vCenter server. If I connect individually ESXi host, I'm going to perform, manage, configure settings, everything on its respect to individual ESXi host. If I connect to vCenter server, I can manage all ESXi host. We'll see later. So proceed, login, ignore. Okay, see, wait. See what it is showing you. Your evaluation license will expire in 60 days. That in the sense, whatever the license is going to use, that evaluation license applicable for 60 days. You can perform all actions within 60 days. After 60 days, you are not in a position to perform any action. Okay, click OK. Expand the window. So what is the options are available? Only 3 options are available in this particular home page. So I'm going to click on inventory. See what is a host, what is the tabs are available. Different options are available. Click on getting started. Click on getting started. What is a host? You can understand. If you are not able to understand, you can select that in inventory. You can understand what is the about. What is a host? It's the host symbol. The symbol how it is look like. It is a kind of tower model symbol, tower server model symbol. That icon representation. The representation is common entire versions. There is no change. So what is the summary? Click on summary. In the summary, it is going to describe about what is the resources available to, what is a manufacturer, what is a CPU model, what is a processor type, what is a licensing, processor sockets, how many sockets we are using, total cores availability, entire hardware details. It is going to show about different options available for the under summary. What is the memory utilization? What is the CPU utilization on this particular ESXi host? So under summary, we are going to get a proper information. Okay, what is the version? So on top of it, at the top of the screen, you can see what is the ESXi host and what is the ESXi version and what is the build number. Previous session we discussed about how to check the build number, what is the update version. Just search the internet ESXi host build numbers. There is a VMware KB article available. Under KB article, all versions of build numbers available. You can correlate by this 3620759. Is it a update 2 or update 3 or update 1? Or what is the patch level? We can see by accessing the ESXi host build numbers. There is a KB article available in VMware website. Okay. The next is virtual machines. Click on virtual machines. As this such particular server, we don't have any virtual machine. We just created this ESXi host. There won't be any virtual machines available. We are going to create virtual machine, how to create a virtual machine, how to configure, everything we are going to see. Next, resource allocation. Resource allocation in the sense, in Windows, how the task manager is going to work. The similar way, here it is going to show you how much CPU, total CPU allocation, what is the memory allocation. The view tab is there. Under view tab, what is the allocation it has assigned? As a CPU, or memory, or storage, we can select the same screen and this resource allocation. Little below, view, there is a 3 tabs are available. CPU, memory, and storage. Once VMs are created, we are going to come the different options here. What is the availability, memory on the ESXi host? What is the CPU availability? What is storage availability? Okay, this is the resource allocation for this particular process. I told you comparison between the application operating system and application layer and hardware layer. In virtualization layer, that applications are going to replace with the virtual machines. So in Windows, if you open the task manager, it is going to show you what are the processes, what are the applications are running, how much CPU, how much memory is consuming. In the similar fashion here, if you create a VMs here, that VM list is available underneath, and then it is going to show you what is the resource allocation for each VM. It's similar to Task Manager in Windows, so that it is going to show you how much CPU is using by respective VM. Here VM, I'm going to refer to correlate to in Windows as a process or application. Okay, clear? So I'm accessing the virtualization layer now. On the top of virtualization layer, I'm going to create a virtual machine. I'm going to see the performance of this particular ESXi host. Okay, click on performance. This is a performance. I can choose different options. Switch to, there is an option switch to. Click on switch to top. Yes, drop down. See, I can choose anything. CPU, data store, disk, memory, network. As we connected to individual ESXi host, there is no past data availability. Only real-time data only available for this if you connect individual ESXi host. For past data, how the past data is going to update, how they accessing the past data, it all depends upon vCenter server, the centralized management console. If the centralized management console available, we can refer the past performance metrics also. Now, what are the performance we are able to see here? It is real-time performance metrics only because we connected to individual ESXi host. There is no database available to store or to refer existing performance matrix. Okay, this is the performance. We can see either CPU or disk or memory, network, anything. For all the things, it is going to show up what is the performance. Next, configuration. This is the main page. We, as an administrator, as a VMware administrator, this is the main tab. We are going to work, we are going to configure. In this particular lab, in Vsphere screen, we just assigned a network IP address for management network. Here, we are going to perform many options. This is a page, it is going to take nearly 2 sessions to 3 sessions. How to configure the storage, how to configure the network, how to configure the advanced settings. All those concepts comes here. This configuration wizard. This configuration wizard, I'm going to talk about tomorrow's sessions and next sessions. It is going to take 1 to 3 sessions to complete all the components under this configuration. Okay. The next, click on users. I'm going to provide the information on the configuration. In next sessions, it may take nearly 2 to 3 sessions to complete only configuration tab. So I'm going to cover that in separate sessions. Users. What are the users are available? The root user, who is a role? What is a role? What is a TCUI? What is a VPX user? There are three different users. By default, it is going to create as soon as you complete the installation. You right click on this page, you right click on this. I can get an option to create an add user. We can create an add user, but generally on ESXi host, we are not going to create in an enterprise environment. We are not going to create any user. Just try to create a user now. Add, just type as a test user, small letters, use small letters. Password VMware 123. Generally, we are not going to create any local users on that ESXi host. Okay, click OK. Username, password as an invalid format. Okay, create different name. It is not allowing this format. Click it again. No, just mention Srini1, Srinivas. Username or password as an invalid format. Why it is throwing an error? Because it is there are security privileges like just like in Windows, local policies. What is this much number? This much size is a password. This is security 15 characters. We need to use a different combination of password and all those things comes in pictures. That's the reason it is not allowing. We'll see this later. But generally, we are not going to create users on ESXi host. How we are going to manage. We'll see the in permissions tab how we are going to complete permissions. But generally on ESXi host, we are not going to create users, local users. Click OK. Next, events. What is the click on events? What are the events are available? This is the events wherein what are the errors, what is the issues, who logged in, and everything it is going to display over here. Just to see if any issue is related, we can select that and understand that event, and you can troubleshoot that particular ESXi host. Okay, just next permissions. Go to permissions. There is a users are available here. Whatever the user is available, whatever the users we created under users, that same user I'm going to provide a permissions. As we are not going to create a users in a ESXi host, I'm not going to create a permission. This permissions tab, how it is important in vCenter centralized management console, how the users can be restricted to access the VMware environment. That we are going to see once VMware vCenter server is installed. Generally, on individual ESXi host, we are not going to create users. The most important thing is the configuration tab. Under this entire information, entire screen, most important thing is configuration tab only. Just I'm explaining what are the tabs are available, where to what to do, and all those things. As we are not going to create users, we are not going to perform any other actions, any of these tabs. Only we can do configuration change, do modifications, everything under this particular configuration wizard. Under this configuration, there are two options are available, hardware and software. Okay, so to perform any action, for example, I'm going to do certain action, I'm not sure how to perform. So go open Google and type how to configure, how to check network settings, how to create a switch, anything. Just search the internet. There are KB article available. In KB article, there's open browser. We'll see how to create a virtual machine in VMware on ESXi host. Open browser. How to create a VM on ESXi host. Enter. Just type whatever the doubt you are going to get, whatever the doubt you are going to get, just type the search internet. See, there is a KB article. Come down. There are different articles are available. Don't refer that. As a beginner, you have to go with VMware KB article only. Come down. Okay, pops this there. Go up. Pops.vmware.com. Open that. See, the different topics are available. This is a documentation. Pops is a documentation center, but the KB article is different. In KB article, it is going to provide the information both VA client as well as web client. In VA client, you need to perform this step. In web client, you need to perform this step. In this is the documentation base, so that come down. See here, point number third, install Vsphere client. We did that. Log into US and deploy a virtual machine. Click on fourth one. Click on fourth point. See here, what are the procedure we did? Like we connected IP address through sub browser. Password we provided. Click a new virtual machine. Right, come down. This is a documentation base. Here it is showing you just information. But for any issue, any article, it is going to relate where to go in VA client, where to go in web client. Step-by-step procedure available in respect to issue, what are the issue you are looking for. So you understand that how to deploy an ESXi host. Once the ESXi host deployed and vCenter server deployed, if you stuck with any issue, search the internet and understand the component in both places. As we are going to explore our knowledge through VC client, VA client, how to refer in web client. If you are not sure where to navigate in web client, the same function you can search the internet. I'm going to show you in next session the same information VA client step by step. Go to configuration, go to this place, select this, and then in web client, where to go, where to select. Step by step documentation is available in KP. Knowledge base articles available for each steps, for each configuration in VMware KP knowledge base. So don't hesitate. What are the doubt you are going to have before asking